What is your worst date night stories? He stuck his fingers in my dessert, licked his fingers and did it again. I ordered a lemon meringue pie and offered him to some. He said no, only to then proceed to say actually that looks good and sticks his fingers in for a taste. Yeah. He turned up a foot shorter than he said, and at least a decade older, making it worse in tight white jeans then as he came and tried to lunge at me to kiss me open-mouthed. Dodged it and just left. Got a text saying was it the jeans? I love Tinder lol. Met online back in 2003. Agreed to meet at a diner we both knew. I got there first. She arrived, hit the gas instead of the brake, drove into the curb, then hit a light pole which fell over and landed on a parked van. No one got hurt, but she was pretty embarrassed. Never heard back from her. Haven't had many dates, but the worst finished was from Tindershock. The plan was to start at my house as a double date, then if it went well split up and go out. It never got to the last part because he shit in my toilet, blocked it with toilet roll, got embarrassed when my friend went in and left. Oh, when he forgot his jacket in the rush, so got one of his friends to come and get it the next day. I haven't had many dates, but the last one I went on asked me if I could still have children. Yes, I can still have children. Am I going to have any more children? No. But you still can though, right? Left early and blocked his number. Mentioned that I was seeing Avengers Endgame on Friday when she tried to set up a second date. She had already seen it and told me the big spoilers, hoping I'd agree to cancel so we could go on another date. I did not. We chatted online, never seen each other, no pics. She asks for my number and calls me instantly. I was in college right at that moment, constantly complains about some ex-BF of hers. I try to be a sympathetic ear, she doesn't shut up about it. When we finally did meet, I picked her up and 15 minutes later she tells me you can drop me off here, never messaged me again. Yes, I wasn't her type. Decided to go see Naked Lunch on a second date. After the movie she didn't say a single word to me. Memo to dudes out there, Naked Lunch is not, repeat, not a date movie. I met a girl I was infatuated with, was lucky enough to get a date. Agreed on a time and place and the date was set. Date night showed up. I lived an hour out of town so I left at the appropriate time. She calls to verify the time and location while I was driving. My window was down because my truck didn't have working AC. I ninja flipped my phone and batted it out of the window. I slam on my brakes and turn around to get the phone. Get out, phone's done. I get back in my truck and keep driving until I realize my truck keeps pulling to the left T. Yup, nail in my driver's front tire. Swap out the tire with my spare. I'm running late and make it the bowling alley right as she was walking out. Convinced her to give me a chance, paid for the food and game. Never heard from her again. TLDR. I was someone else's bad date. Went out for Mexican. Shit the toilet the next morning and clogged it up so bad the line had to be dug up. We are married now and joke about it every time we have Mexican. She wanted me to take her to a smoke shop to buy her a bunch of random crap and then ditch me. He lied about his age by 10 years and took me to a part of the city that had his art murals. Was disappointed I wasn't impressed and called me a selfish bitch for choosing my own cocktail at the bar. Went to a sushi restaurant because our usual place was being renovated. The food was bland, stale, and by the end of it we had people standing over us waiting to get seated. It was really uncomfortable. Got catfished and she brought her kid. Wanting to be a decent dude, I kept with it. The whole time was nightmare. The icing on the cake was when she asked me if I killed anyone in Iraq. Still in shock. I did manage to tell her that's not an appropriate question to ask someone. She was surprised when I declined a second date. It was a first date with someone I met online. She was kinda weird and into visiting graveyards. Also the whole night she talked about how independent, financial stable she was and how much money she makes. When the bill comes and it's like 100, she offers nothing, not even tip money. Then on my way home I get a speeding ticket that cost me over 300. That night cost me over 400 and I didn't enjoy my night. Needless to say, I never asked for a second date. She farted in front of me. This guy made a big deal to take me on a nice night out. Got dressed up, took me to a new restaurant in downtown LA. He was nice, but really shy, so this date was kind of a big deal for him. Right after drinks come, music starts blaring and lights are going off everywhere as a flash MOB for some TV show invaded the restaurant. I thought it was hilarious, but my date was utterly mortified. I went to the bathroom and when I came back, she dipped. Never heard from her again. Went on a date with a classmate in college. We both agreed to a restaurant and to meet at the dorm entrance. It took me 3 hours to get ready and choose a really nice dress. He showed up in jeans and a wrinkled t-shirt. We went to a Kenai Island where he kept looking into his wallet as if he couldn't remember how much money he had. Our waiter never came to drop a bill and every time I asked him to go find the waiter, he said, "Oh, I'm sure they're around somewhere." We waited 45 minutes until I ended up going to the bathroom and asked a waiter on my way back for the bill. We then went back to the dorms where he dropped me off without getting out of the car to open the door and drove off. Didn't even ask if he could come up to my dorm. Didn't even attempt to kiss me. It was weird. Went to some hippie vegan restaurant from her recommendation via bicycles. Had a nice time. On the way back to my place she had diarrhea in the bushes and asked to use my socks to wipe. I returned home with one sock. Met up for drinks. She proceeds to get utterly trashed and refuses any help to stabilize herself while walking. Walks about 10 feet, face plants into a curb and breaks her jaw. I have more, but those are probably the most memorable.